thank you for everyone who's joined in, and welcome to those still coming. As you know, this is the first of these follow-up peace of mind calls with this time we're delighted to have Sister Jayanti joining us, and it follows on from the great innovation that's been the establishment of the newsletter to keep in contact with former peace of mind guests. And we've managed to find contacts, we think, for people back as far as 1997 or thereabouts. And so the newsletter is going out to a large number of people. And in that newsletter is obviously the link and the invitation to join this Zoom call. The plan is that they will distribute, the newsletter about 3 times a year, and we hope to have these calls about twice a year. And we'll let you know through the newsletter when these calls are planned. In a moment, I'm going to introduce Sister Jayanti, who is already known to many of you. And Sister Jayanti is then going to speak with us. After that, we're going to have the ability to ask some questions that some of you may have. So I'm going to ask you, if you have questions, if you can put them in the chat that's part of this Zoom call. And if you don't mind, just put your name and country with that question, if you don't mind. If English isn't your first language, we will be attempting to translate your question, and then I will put those questions to Sister Jayanti one at a time. We have if we need it, up to nearly an hour of time together. So hopefully you can stay with us. So thank you in advance again for being with us. At this stage, I'd like to say a special hello to Sister Jayanti, who is in Gyan Sarovar in Mount Abu, where peace of mind has been held for all these years. So you can sense where she is. So Sister Jayanti, hearty welcome and Om Shanti to you. And I'll let you welcome and say hello to everyone. And then if you're happy with that, then to move on to talking about our topic, which we felt was relevant for this time, about remaining peaceful during challenging times. And there are many challenging times for lots of people around the planet at the moment. So thank you, Sister Jayanti. I'll hand over to you.
The important thing to remember is that after the night, the day has to come. There's no question about it. And so what I'm seeing now are different aspects of the darkness, the negativity, and all the things that are going into the wrong directions. But if I can keep my awareness of the soul, I am light, connecting with the divine, the being of light, then I look ahead and I see a future in which there's light. The day has come. But my preparation to go into that day is by experiencing that light within. And that light and the light of the Supreme is going to guide me in the right direction. So yes, everything's falling apart, that's okay. But what I'm doing is to plant the seeds and the foundation for the future so that we go into the day together. And the skin that I have, this body that I have, is very precious, it's very powerful, and it enables the soul to do everything that I want it to do, at least at most times. But within this precious vehicle is the driver, and that is the soul, the shining star sitting in the center of the forehead. And if I see a challenging situation that's already come, or I see it coming, then first stop is Om Shanti. Om, I am. Who am I? Let me go deep inside my own inner world and connect with the peace that lies within. And that is true for every human being. Everyone has peace in their hearts, in their minds, but we've forgotten, and lots of layers have come on, and we've lost touch with that original quality of peace. really, truly just experience myself surrounded by peace, no matter what else is going on. And third experience and experiment, there's a home, a world of light, which is in the dimension beyond. So we're aware of the dimensions of this physical world, but beyond this, there's a world which is a world of unlimited space, a world of light, which is the home for all of us. Physically, we have very different homes, but spiritually, the place where all spirits reside, that home is beyond. And so it's not sort of like on top of the sky or anything, but it's beyond this physical dimension. And that is my home. And my home is a place where everybody is just there in their form of the eternal spirit, the eternal soul. And there is total silence. There is nothing but silence and purity and light. A state of total purity, no vibration, nothing changing, consistent and constant, just a world of light and peace. With one thought, I can connect with the divine. With another thought, I can locate myself in that home. And so these three things help me at all times to remain peaceful. And nothing outside can take away that peace. Things outside will keep changing. They'll come and they'll go up and down. They may not always be what I want, and very often things are like that, but I don't get into the detail at this moment. First, I want to anchor myself. I want to stabilize myself. And I go inwards and I find that space which is my own private inner space, a space in which only I can go, a space which is sacred, a space which belongs to me. And so traveling inwards with one thought doesn't take a whole long time. One thought takes me deep inside, and I can connect with the peace that I am within. With the next thought, I connect with the one above. And the peace from the divine surrounds me and supports me. And nothing can take that peace away at all, because it is unlimited. And whoever wants to join me can also join in, because when there's unlimited peace, it's something that everybody can experience and everybody can benefit from. So it's not just me, but I'm spreading those vibrations of peace all around. And maybe in that way, the situation itself calms down and sanity takes over. When situations are chaotic, then people's reactions and responses can be a little insane. But I can be the instrument, the jazz piece, to calm everything down so that everybody just simply is able to think clearly again, and we know which direction to go in. And so the help from above is enormous. Maybe I on my own wouldn't have been able to manage to attain that stability, but help from above came along and it was possible. But this ability to detach, be up above, and when I come back here into this dimension again, then I'm able to have a detached observer perspective. I can see what's going on and I can understand what I need to do at any given moment. I don't need to get involved in the chaos. I just need to keep a very clear mind, a clear consciousness, and to do what I need to do. But it's with that clarity that this will then happen. And so these three aspects are always, always very powerful and always bring me the results that I want, which is to remain peaceful myself, even though things around me may be falling apart. But if I can be peaceful, then I can start picking up the pieces and start moving things in the right direction so that there's help available. And so the journey is one in which I go within and really truly experience how my original and natural state is of peace. And the second part, where I see that I'm getting no help from here, but I'm able to get help from up above and connecting with the divine. And it's not just experience, but more than that. There's a connection with many, many other qualities that stem from peace. There's happiness, there's love, there's joy. And so keeping that awareness of all the different qualities brings me a lot of help. And so, yes, I need the starting point of peace, but beyond peace, there is so much more that I can receive from the divine. And then being the observer, having made that journey to my home, that unlimited space, a place of silence, a place of rest and comfort, having journeyed there, experiencing that state of detachment and freedom and purity and peace, coming back down, now I'm able to do the things that I need to do here with clarity, knowing that, yes, the decisions are being guided with help from above, and I know that things will work out. I don't know how they will work out, but I have the total faith that they will work out. And so peace really, truly stays with me. So these are three things that you can experiment with at all times, and you'll find that very easily you'll come to that experience of inner peace, which nobody can take away.
Thank you, Sister Jayanti. That was delightful and wonderful. We're getting a couple of questions coming through. One picks up on, in part, on your around your comment about the dramas at Heathrow, but it's not the only drama that we see on the news. So when we see all these news articles coming about different disturbances and things that upset different people depending on where they are and what's happening, but the whole place often feels like it's in a bit of chaos. How to handle that uncertainty or fear that people get as a reaction to that news?
I think if you recall some of your lessons in Abu, you'll remember a cycle. And in the cycle, we showed half the period when there's peace and order and law and systems are being observed. And so there's love and harmony. And the other half, the second half, a time of gradual degradation and a time when everything just simply collapses in chaos. Well, which part of the cycle do you think we are in now? I don't think it's the one of peace and harmony. More likely it's that last quadrant, the Iron Age, the dark period. And the dark period is exactly that. Things happen that are not very nice at all. Things happen that you would not even have imagined a little while earlier, and yet they're happening. All of these, to me, are an indication of the period that we are in now, and that is this last quadrant. But within that also, the end of the end, that part which we describe as the end of the Dark Age, the end of the Iron Age, Kali Yuga, call it what you will. And so we are watching a state of collapse. And the reason for this is that we've lost touch with core values. What happened to trust? What happened to responsibility? What about love? What about purity? It's a word that people don't even relate to anymore. What is purity? Except in terms of pure food and pure milk and pure milk isn't so pure anyway, but pure water, whatever it is. So at this point where everything is in a state of collapse, what is my contribution? My contribution has to be one through which I'm able to give the vibrations of goodness, of truth, of love, of peace, so that the people who are generating this negativity or being impacted by this negativity begin to look at things from a different perspective and begin to see that there is an answer to all the chaos, and that's within the soul itself. For example, today when I see an ambulance and the siren is on, do I just say, let me get out of the way, which I'm supposed to do anyway, so I do that. But do I just go back to thinking business as usual, or am I ready to think in a different way? And in this case, I don't know who's in the ambulance. I don't know what their problem is, but I know there's some big problem. You know, the ambulance has got the siren on, and so it wants to make way quickly. There's a problem. Can I just simply be still for a moment and send good vibrations of God's light and love to whoever's in that ambulance? And so I see a situation which can cause panic and fear, but can I turn it around and ask myself the question, what can I do that can help people around me? What can I do that's going to be of some significance in a positive direction? And so then I don't get overwhelmed by all the things that are going on, but rather, okay, that's happening, but I just need to be still.
Thank you. It's very helpful advice, because there's always so many things that seem to be happening in that crazy world. Um, I guess one of the other things that you touched on earlier was about being able to draw on the power of the divine, and to take the support of the lessons that we learn through Peace of Mind and the other classes. But sometimes when people are maybe feeling not so confident, a bit disturbed or unsettled, then there might be a flood of thoughts coming in the mind, about uncertainty and what to do and what next and what if and all that. How to identify the positive thought that you can then ask for that support, amongst that, how to calm the mind, if you like, or how to filter out the other noise so that you can identify what it is that you're asking the divine for support. Does that...
It takes practice. And so it's not that suddenly when there's an emergency, I can press a button and things will start happening in the right way. That's unlikely. But what I do need to do is to practice. And so this practice of the morning is very helpful for this, because it means then I know how to detach from the body, all the things connected with my bodily needs and the people and things around me, not on a physical level, but on a level of consciousness. And you simply go inwards and go upwards. And then once I've been up and I've connected and I've filled myself from the ocean, and I know that there's something else I have to do, that's okay. Going inwards, going upwards, bringing that love and faith and joy to serve outwards. And so 3 easy steps to be able to deal with chaos. Going in, going up above, and then sharing it.
Thank you. So we have the skills and the teachings. We just need to keep practicing how to apply them. So when we need to use them, then we're ready to step up and apply those teachings, because they become part of our normal activity and operation.
It just as, if you have an action that you repeat 3 times, that's it, it's a habit. And we're used to developing many, many bad habits. We're not so good at developing positive habits. But this is a positive habit that you can develop. I remind myself in a very conscious way, here's the ambulance. Now, what am I asking God for? I'm not asking. I'm just thinking about God's light and love. And I'm sending those vibrations to all the people in the ambulance, whether it's just the person who's ill or whether it's their relatives who are with them. But they all need that strength and support of God's light and love. And they'll never know that this is what I did for them because I don't know them. They don't know that I've done something for them. But that's absolutely okay because service can be incognito. And if it's incognito, I actually get double the credit in terms of the spiritual power that I accumulate through this.
So that practice of giving those good wishes to the people in the ambulance, you could apply that to people in any troubled part of the world or other areas that are experiencing conflict. Is that right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm, thank you. Well, I think at the moment we don't have more questions. We've had a few people join after we started the session. So just as a reminder, if you've got some questions that you'd like to ask Sister Jayanti, please put them into the chat um, and just let us know that you've got that question. And if you don't mind, just a quick entry into the chat room. Otherwise, we'll just have a couple of little bit more discussions with Sister Jayanti while we've got the benefit of her presence, and just see if some more questions come. So I guess the other thing, there are many questions that people have in relation to applying the knowledge. And I guess one is about continuing to build your own, which is part of what you've touched on, and building your own resilience, but also about continuing to be able to be in a position and a state of mind where you can continue to give positive support and thoughts to the rest of the souls on the world and not get caught up in any challenges that you might have. Any thoughts around that sort of how to remain generous, I guess, and positive towards others, even when you might be having some difficulty yourself?
The first thing is that there'll always be challenges in my own life. It's never that everything will finish and then I'll begin to serve. But even though I'm dealing with challenges, I'm facing all of those and I'm doing it with God's help. So at this moment, if somebody else is being challenged in a negative way and they maybe know about Shiv Baba, but they're not practicing maybe. But if I can send them my loving good wishes, then they can be an instrument to take this further to their friends who don't know the Brahma Kumaris at all. But they'll be an instrument to share good things with their friends. And so that'll create an atmosphere in which everybody knows that being scared is not useful. Being confused is very bad because it really is opening up avenues that you don't need. So let me be still, let me be calm, and send out those thoughts of love and light after Amrit Vela. Amrit Vela, fine. And then just spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just sending out God's light, God's Sakash to the world. And what you'll find is that this is gradually helping others. It's reaching them. They're feeling that they're being supported. Sometimes they acknowledge that, yes, this was what you did with your prayers for me. So all that happens.
Thank you. We do have a question, another one, thank you, which is what's the best way to introduce the BKs to friends without, wanting to tell them how to get on with their life? So what's a nice way of introducing for people who are enjoying the benefits of the connection with the BKs, how to introduce that to friends?
Starting to talk about the mind is a very simple entry point. And, you know, something happens and you can take it up in your own space and say, well, when I heard the ambulance this morning, I thought, what can I do? Can I send good wishes and lots of love to those people? And I'm sure that would open up a conversation. Or sometimes you're with friends and you say you only want salad, you don't want cooked food. And they'll ask you why. And you don't have to tell them because you're not celibate or anything like that. But you can just simply say, I'm on a special diet, but this is the diet that's very healthy and suits me well. And the subject of food is always such a magnet. Everybody loves talking about food, good things, not good things, why this, why that, what's the recipe for this? That's just gone going. And so food becomes a very lovely opening door to be able to then talk to people, not just about the food. It might start with that as a subject, but then who is it that is providing us with this? What have we done to nature? And yet still nature is filled with abundance and is sharing her treasures with us. So you can move in the direction of God, you can move in the direction of vibrations, you can talk about the soul that's able to emit vibrations and pick up vibrations. So the first lesson is a great opener.
Thank you.
How can I trust others when models baffle our values and concepts? And I think that we keep getting challenged by people's attitudes and what they're suggesting and saying and what they're doing. And we keep getting challenged again and again by these constant sort of challenging issues. How do we maintain our trust in others, I think, is the question through this period.
I think the first thing is to maintain my own stability and trust in myself. Whatever else is going on around me, and I see that things are not very comfortable, not as I would like them to be, but can I trust myself that I can maintain my own inner core values, whatever are the influences from outside? And I think that if I can trust myself to maintain my stability, then I can start seeing others with a vision of trust. You know, our attitude and our vision towards others shapes the reality that happens. It's not just how they are, but if I'm seeing somebody with their goodness, and everybody has some goodness in them. So when I see their goodness, then what's going to happen is that I focus on that, and it allows that to be expressed in a very beautiful way. And if I focus on their negative aspect, well, no surprise, that's what's going to come and hit me. And so I have to trust myself. And this trust in myself that, yes, I can remain stable is going to allow me to trust others and inspire them and empower them to move towards that also.
Maybe, Sister Jayanti, we could move to meditation commentary and thank everyone for being with us.
So please stay with us and just let the body relax. Sitting in the awareness of the inner being, I shine. The light of the soul radiates out, and I feel that peace that I carry within myself. I savor the sweetness of this experience of getting to know myself more deeply and connecting with the core of my being. I am a being of peace. And in this awareness, I'm able to fly. My consciousness goes beyond the limits of the body, beyond the limits of the physical dimension, into that eternal dimension where I can connect with the divine, the supreme, the source of all positive attributes, the ocean of peace showers peace on the soul. And this peace is not just for me, but from the source, from the ocean, peace reaches out across all our lands. And as I connect with the Supreme, not only am I recharged with this powerful, pure peace, but the peace now reaches out to the entire human family. Peace reaches out to all those who are troubled and distressed. And they may not know it, but the peace heals their hearts and soothes their promises. The peace reaches out and touches all forms of life. They too were afraid, but now, with the vibrations of peace, they feel the protection that the power of peace could bring them. So they too become calm. God's peace touches all the elements of nature, and nature is healed and renewed. The energy of love is part of this experience of peace, and the togetherness of the power of love carries us into the day. Om Shanti.
Thank you so much, Sister Jayanti. Thank you, everyone, for staying with us. We wish you all peace and happiness, and we look forward to staying in touch.
Thank you to everyone for your patience. Om Shanti.